Hey friends, welcome to the home gym. So it's a perfect setting to talk about the biggest muscle in your entire body called the gluteus maximus muscle. Now, a lot of people have a weak or saggy butt, a weak gluteus maximus, which is a problem. It's linked with low back pain, tight hamstrings, knee pain, and much more. Now, we're going to demonstrate the hip thrust using a piece of equipment that I built that I will give you as a bonus access to the full schematic so you can learn how to do this. But the point of this video is just to teach you about the hip thrust. Now, this is not a fitness channel. We've interviewed Bret Contreras, the author of Glute Lab. I would encourage you to check out his channel and his videos and his book, especially Glute Lab. But I still find that not enough people are doing hip thrusts. I especially want my clients to do this because they have low back pain, they have knee pain, they have tight hamstrings. So they can't squat, they can't deadlift, they're scared to do lunges, they don't have a leg press, they have limited tools. So I'm trying to encourage more people to learn how to hip thrust because it's a great way to activate your glutes. Now I have some papers here that I'm going to show up on the screen as we're sort of talking, and we're going to get to the demonstration. But your gluteus maximus muscle is, without question, one of the largest muscles in your body, especially in the lower body. In terms of circumference and total weight, even in an atrophied 60-year-old male, it weighs about 2 pounds, okay? Now you can imagine in an athlete or someone that's regularly doing this, you can get that weight up to probably 6-7 pounds. And if you think about that, your muscle helps contribute to your resting energy expenditure, your fat oxidation, and your overall metabolic rate. We know that insulin and glucose, it gets ultimately deposited in muscle and so forth. And the more metabolically healthy our muscle is, the more metabolically healthy our body is. So I want to encourage you to hip thrust. So please keep watching this video so you can learn some of the variations and how easy and simple this is to do. You can do it right on your floor, or you can make this too. I'll give you a full schematic in the bonus that will be linked below. Just go to myoscience.com. Any order over $49, you get access to this bonus using the coupon code GLUTES15. That's GLUTES15 over at myoscience.com. But again, you don't need equipment. You can use pretty much your floor. You don't need to, have a home gym. You can do this off your couch. But I would encourage you to start doing this. Now, in the book Glute Lab, Bret goes into the variations. He goes into progressions. He goes into, how frequency and all that. But 2 to 3 days a week, I think, is sufficient if you're not using too heavy a weight. If you load up your barbell, you might just want to do 1 day a week. But we're going to cut to it, and I would encourage you to start working on building up your glute max strength and muscle size because it's involved in so many aspects of human health, but metabolism and longevity as well. So let's get on the floor and talk about how to do this, and I think you'll enjoy it. Here we go. So let's get down to business and talk about the hip thrust. Again, the point of this is to help fire and activate and build the muscle, the biggest muscle in your body, the gluteus maximus. So starting out, we're going to get on this homemade unit. Again, if you want to get the exact plans and a video tutorial, the link to the bonus that will get you that is below. But this is my homemade unit, okay? Now what's unique about this, now of course you can do a hip thrust right on the floor. You actually don't need something like this, but this enables you to get fuller extension and flexion, okay? So the more that you can lengthen and then flex your muscles, the more activation you're going to get. So you're just going to get a deeper contraction. You can put your barbell here or you can use it on your couch. You could sit on your couch or a bench, slide this on your carpet and put it in your closet when you're done, okay? So that's what's unique about this. Now you can do unilateral work. So you get really a nice deep flexion and extension. So you can put your leg out like this or like this. And the unilateral is nice. I like to really squeeze at the top, okay, when I do unilateral type stuff. And I would recommend when you're first starting out with the hip thrust. So the idea here, let me just go over the basics. Of course, follow Bret Contreras, get his book Glute Lab. But for some of the basics, what you want to do, friends, so I just put sort of my upper thoracic part of my spine. So you can Google that. It's, I don't know, probably T1 or T2, where my back is on the bench. Arms are out like this, or you can put your elbows like this. I just, kind of have a natural grip. I see Bret Contreras kind of go like this. Everyone does something different with their hands. The idea here is you're going to go to the point where it's comfortable with your hip range, as far as you can go, so you get the most extension of the muscle, and then flex your glutes, okay? Now, you don't want to hyperextend your back. A lot of people do make that mistake. You just want to keep your glutes nice and flexed. Now, what I recommend when you are starting this is get a hip circle by Mark Bell. Mark Bell's a great guy. He's been on the podcast before. Now this enables you to actually really feel the movement first. So you're gonna feel it just sitting here, isometric holding like this. I can feel my glutes firing, okay? Now I'm gonna go into, and then extend here, the hips. So you can really start to feel these glutes. Now, even if you did high reps with no weights, maybe you do 4 sets of 25, your low back would get a lot, probably would alleviate some of the pain. If you have knee pain, you have hamstring pains, you know, this would really wake up those sleepy glutes. Okay, just this with no weight. Now again, you just go into a neutral spine position at the top of the movement, and you're really firing that gluteus maximus, glute min, which again, to say it over and over again, biggest muscle in the body, friends. Even in an atrophied 6-year-old male, this muscle weighs over 2 pounds and has the largest circumference, muscular circumference area of any muscle in the body. So you can start to load up. Now, what I recommend for the variations is starting out with the glute loop or the hip circle, whatever sort of band you know you have. Start really, you know, you can do this several days a week and start to get that neuromuscular contraction working. Then you can move into weights. So again, something super simple you can do at home. If you don't have much equipment, you can get I have kettlebells behind me. I'll just grab this 35 pounder, okay? We're gonna do, you know, let's just do a weighted double leg here. So I'm getting all my positions, you know, set up like this, okay? Now the challenge is when you get down to this position, the weight does kind of get in the way, which is why a barbell is nicer. So I do like the weight for the unilateral type stuff. And sometimes I'll put the weight sort of like this, or a kettlebell. So you go down. I have other dumbbells that aren't so big, like my 70s. But the idea here is just going through the motion, but it's weighted. So a little bit more, that's gonna be a progression, okay? The next progression would be your barbell right here, and you're going up. Now, again, the purpose of this is you're getting a more fuller range of motion. If you were on a budget, and let's say you didn't have any tools or anything, you could go to a hardware store or Home Depot and just get a 4x4. That's what this base is. You could just put your heels on a 4x4 and use your couch. So that would be bare bones minimum. What's cool about this is you can hook bands up to it. You can do single leg stuff. You can even do goblet squats. So what I'll kind of bending over so you can see me in the camera, but if I'm holding a kettlebell and going down and doing a goblet squat. So, you know, there's many ways to activate your gluteus maximus with lunges, with hip thrusts, with barbell deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, goblet squats. You have the leg press that we have here. You have the reverse hyper. I mean, there's a lot of different tools at your disposal. But the hip thrust, I find, is especially for women as they age, you know, people have knee pain, they're overweight, they have osteoarthritis. So it's hard to convince someone to start squatting or lunging, which is why I like the hip thrust. So please follow Brett Contreras, check out his book, Glute Lab. Start to learn about this because, you know, the muscles of the lower body need more stimulation. A lot of us have sleepy glutes. A lot of us have hamstring issues, knee pain, low back pain. And, you know, this isn't a cure-all for every single condition, but it can certainly help those conditions, friends. So give it a try. You know, check out the bonus that we have. You can build your own hip thrust at home. You can, of course, buy one. There's a lot of different things that you can, you know, buy online and all that sort of stuff. But what's unique about this version is I found, you know, the angles are just perfect for getting a nice flexion and extension and activating those glutes. So hopefully you enjoyed this different style video. What I'll do is I'll link below to my home gym tour if you want to learn about, you know, some of the equipment that I have and why we got it. And yeah, definitely check out the link below if you want access to this do-it-yourself tutorial about how to build your own hip thrust unit at home that can go in your closet or in your garage or wherever. I mean, you don't need a bench like this. You could just use this in your kitchen, you know, something like that. So thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll catch you on a future video down the road. Bye.